My name is Sau Sheong. I work for SP Group, formerly known as Singapore Power. I lead a team of software engineers and also hardware engineers to develop new digital solutions for Singapore Power as well as Singapore in general. I'm working on a number of things. The main things are really about how we can improve our consumers' lives by reducing the cost for their power consumption as well as generally producing products to improve their lifestyles. So design, I think, is very critical to writing applications that interact with and interface with consumers, whereas our consumers can be sophisticated in a way because utility consumers are used to having, say, power turned on whenever they plug something into the socket. At the same time, they have been so used to other services. One example I would give is in the past when I need to hail for a cab, what I will do is I'll pick up a phone and I will order a taxi, or I will have to go down to the street and hail one. Nowadays, a lot of people would either use their mobile phones, their smartphones, have an app installed on it called Uber, called Grab in Singapore and in Southeast Asia, and a taxi would arrive, right? And this actually changes the perception of somebody actually calling for a taxi completely. And the expectation now for the older taxi companies is that they provide similar services, and therefore this kind of user experience seeps through different applications. And the same way it is seeping through the utilities domain. No longer people are just satisfied with, say, if I have a plug, I insert it into the socket and I get power and that's all I need. Basically, people want to know how well am I doing in my power? What kind of power am I consuming? Is it green power or is it to fossil fuel power? How am I using my power compared to my neighbor? Am I consuming more power? Am I consuming less power? And so on and so forth. So I think the expectations of end users, our consumers, are changing, and changing the user experience as a utility is very important as well, because we want to bring the same user experience that the consumers are used to in the other applications, in the other areas that are working on, to the utilities world. The user experience in other apps often do spill over to whatever we are doing. So we do need to adopt a level of gamification. However, utilities are utilities. You can't gamify every single thing because that's kind of meaningless. So we need to pick and select whichever is appropriate to gamify in order to bring people towards a certain direction. For example, when we build apps, we do want to gamify certain parts of the entire process in order to allow people to better use the app, in order to learn how to use the app. But we don't really want to gamify the everything such that it becomes using your utility or interfacing with the utility becomes a game, because that would be the wrong message that we are passing on to our consumers. So that comes from a interesting story from the past. We were having a discussion with a group of developers, and we were trying to organize a conference. That was actually the first Red.Ruby conference in Singapore. It's a Ruby conference. And within that room, I happened to be the oldest guy in the room. And there were jokes and so on. And I was a father, so they called me the Code Father.